So hello everyone, welcome to Soul Reconnection once again. My name is Microagressions, and if you're new here, welcome to the family. If you haven't yet clicked that subscribe button, go ahead and click that right now. What are you waiting for? There's so much content that's already been recorded. Go check out some of my previous videos. There's definitely some interesting content I've already got uploaded, so go scrolling, go searching, go exploring, see what you like. And analytics is really interesting because it actually shows me that there's more people who are not subscribed to my channel that watch my video. So if you are one of those people, don't be shy. Come on over into the family. If you do like the content that I do and keep updated, definitely click that notification bell to get notified every time I go live and every time I upload a new video. Make sure you're kept in that loop. But today I wanted to do a video. If you're not hidden under a hole and you are connected within social media, then you've probably been exposed to the fake outrage that is currently going on with H&M. And yes, I said fake outrage. I said what I said, because let's be real, this fake outrage is only going to last 48 hours on social media. So all of the couch and social activists that are getting pumped up about something that I personally do not see the outrage about, and I will express my perspective in due course through this video, but it's not going to last, and it's something that clearly people have fell for it again. Black people, we fell for it again, and I think at this point we're actually doing it to ourselves, and we can't really blame anyone else but ourselves. And there's a few issues I really want to address on this, because when I saw the post go up, I saw a little girl, probably no more than 10, a little girl, beautiful little girl at that. Her skin is beautiful. I mean, she's going to be such a beautiful young woman when she grows up. And I think it's important to state that, because the majority of the people that are creating outrage about this beautiful little girl clearly do not see her as such. So initially when I saw this post, all I saw was this post of the little girl. And then I scrolled and I read the caption underneath it. And the question was posed whether or not this little girl's hair was appropriate for this shoot. Now, I was genuinely confused because all I saw was a little girl that I would normally see in school, everywhere I go. She's no different to any other black little girl that I would see on the street, or even in my family for that matter. I saw her beauty. But there's other people who clearly did not see her as beautiful, because just like in typical fashion, when it comes to especially black women, and I have to say this because this is very real, whenever you hear comments with regards to specifically physical appearances and "what's out their ear," a lot of the time I see a lot of negative comments from our community. It's either, oh, you couldn't do her hair, or perfect example of this was Blue Ivy, Beyonce's daughter. We had this whole scenario play out before, when people who felt entitled to be able to voice their opinion on a child that they didn't spend any time in labor for, any amount of months growing, and tell you how you must be taking care of your child, or how your child needs to look according to society's standards. Now, Blue Ivy is a beautiful young little girl. Her hair is exactly how you would expect a black girl's hair to be, naturally. The problem is that even this whole natural hair movement, back to Africa, black girl magic, loving myself, I'm Miss Queen, I'm Miss Goddess movement, is all fake, just like everything else. The intentions for when these movements first started as opposed to where they are now are completely different. And that's what always happens whenever ego gets in the way, and things just end up shifting further from what we expected it should have been. But having natural hair is you being able to love your hair in its original state. But the catch is, really, the natural hair community is all about how good you can manipulate your hair and make it look a specific way. If we don't have defined curls, if you don't have your edges slicked, if you don't have this, if you don't have that, then it's a problem. That's no longer beautiful. So now we've completely changed the whole narrative of things, of what it's supposed to be, just loving yourself naturally. And really it's just loving a more manipulated version of yourself. So if she had cornrows, or if she had extensions, or if she had her hair straightened, or what. Like, I'm trying to understand, what is it that we're actually expecting? Like, what did you actually expect her to look like? Did you expect them to actually put weave in? Did you expect her to look anything other than a little girl? And that's the problem. We are actually creating a whole generation of children who don't understand what it means to be children, or what it means to even be dressed like children. If you go into the clothes stores nowadays and go look in the girl section, there's a big ass 30-year-old woman that can wear the same thing to the club. I'm seeing more and more young girls, and I'm not to say that I have a problem with it. I'm just saying, look at what is happening. I'm seeing a lot more younger girls coming into school, full face of makeup, full weave, full wig, full all of this. And it's like, whoa, what happened to childhood? What happened to being a young girl? What happened to, having your little bubbles and your little doo-doo twists? And yeah, I know, like, sometimes it can look a bit peak, but you can make it look a bit pretty. You can still have extensions, but have a really youthful look. Have your little two things at the side, and, have your hair up or whatever. Like, I don't know, just make her look like a little girl, put little bows in her hair. Allow them to remember what it feels like to be a princess, like, you got your princess dress, you got your princess hair, but we're setting toxic examples for our children going forward of what it means to be beautiful. If you can't acknowledge your own beauty by yourself, even, I don't wear makeup a lot of the time. I used to wear makeup literally every day. If I was just going to the shop, I'll be wearing makeup. If I was just at home all day, I'll be wearing makeup. Now, I'll do it when I feel like it, when I want to feel good, maybe when I'm going on camera, when I'm going out. I choose when I want to be able to wear makeup. I can go 2 weeks without putting any type of makeup on my face at all. And that does my cleansers really well. And clearly you can see it does my skin really well, because my goal really is to have healthy skin. If you don't have healthy skin, it doesn't matter how much makeup you put on your face. It's not going to quite cut it. But my heart goes out to this little girl, because now she will have to look back as she grows older to the majority of her community, basically telling her that it's not okay for you to be naturally beautiful. I mean, think about that for a moment. Like, what are we doing to the self-esteem of these young children that are growing up? And I do believe there's a balance, because, it's about allowing yourself to look presentable, but I think it's about addressing our perception to what we deem as acceptable. Having your hair in an afro, having your edges untamed, that's still appropriate. Having your hair back without any gel, that's still appropriate. Don't let society tell you anything different. That's something that really got to me when I was younger in school, because even though I have quite loose curls and it's quite soft, my hair is really soft and really curly, I found in school I really struggled because my hair could not slick like everyone else's. Doesn't matter what jam I would get, what gel I would get, whatever, like, thank God for edge control, because that's the only thing that can literally tame my edges. Anything water-based will literally turn my hair back like this. I remember I used to twist my hair, and I wanted my twist to look like everyone else, where it was just straight down, but because my hair was so curly, it would literally curl up and then go into these little ringlets at the end. And I didn't really like that, because again, I wanted my hair to look like everyone else's. I wanted to have the same hairstyles as everyone else. But one thing, and I mentioned this in my last video when I was talking about the things that I wish I knew when I was younger, I didn't have my hair permed. I didn't have my hair straightened a lot of the time. The majority of my life, bar like literally about 3 months when I decided to try and perm my hair and I realized I didn't like it. My hair has always been like this. But being in school, when that was the norm and that was what was accepted, it did grate my character a little bit. But I wish I knew what I knew now, where I could be like, you know what, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. This is what I'm going to do. Think about it. This is really not new. We experience this, and especially those who are also Jamaican or Caribbean. So those that are in the Pluto Leo, Pluto Virgo generation, so around the 50s, So the 50s, the 60s, you would understand what that transition was like. You would understand what that transition was like with locks or dreadlocks, which is what they called it. They wanted to give that whole dreadful impression, like your hair looking like locks, dreadlocked. It's dreadful. Why would you want to be looking like this? But this is how you look naturally. And in Jamaica in the 50s, this was a symbol of rebellion for them to be able to rebel against the societal norms and be like, actually, I'm just going to wear my hair the way it naturally is. It wasn't a fashion. It wasn't a trend. There was people that was ridiculed, demonized just because they had locks in their hair. Now, everyone accepts it. Everyone accepts Jamaican culture. You know, everyone wants to be the next Bob Marley, whether you're white, black, Indian, or Chinese. It's respected. But back when it came in, it wasn't respected. And I think it's important to remember that, because no matter what anyone else does with their hair or their body or whatever they want to do, when it comes to themselves, no one has the right to say anything. If her parents decided to send her out the house like that, that's their child. Did you give birth to that child? No. And it's not to say you don't have any care for anyone else's children or whatever. That's what their mother wanted to do. If I chose, I wanted to freeform my child's hair and just let it naturally grow without combing it and just let it naturally lock, that's my choice. I shouldn't have anyone trying to be calling social services saying I'm a bad mother because I haven't done anything to my child's hair. Like, what the hell is that all about? This is what I mean about this whole judgmental behavior that we really need to cut out. And a lot of it, we need to really address this, because especially with the older generation, this is a lot of their toxicness that we're still passing down. A lot of us had very negative comments from our families. Your skin too dark, come like midnight, I could only see it because your teeth white. Like, it's just, it's embedded in our culture, especially with the older generation, to literally just spew out a lot of negative abuse, really, and criticism. And I think we just really need to take a moment to just look at that, because we don't want to be perpetuating the same generational cycle. We want to be able to cut things off and say, do you know what, this no longer gets continued. But you have to make a decision to do that. And you have to also make a decision to want to think for yourself and not follow the crowd and what everyone else is saying and what they all think. Because if you really tune in, there's certain things that you probably won't align with. But because of society and because of your ingrained upbringing or environment or culture, these are the beliefs that you have playing in your system. So let's really look at a lot of the self-limiting affirmations that we even speak over ourselves. When we keep saying, well, as Black women, we're oppressed, we're this, we're that. I'm sorry, I'm not oppressed. I refuse to affirm the fact that I am oppressed. I have the ability to create my own experiences. The more that I hold on to, I'm oppressed, I'm a victim, I'm this, I'm that, what type of experiences do you think I want to continue to create for myself? Situations where I'm going to be a victim, situations where I'm going to be oppressed. I reject any type of negative programming or negative attachments to my story. I've already cut that off. And it's not to say that there isn't any environmental or societal influences that may impact how my life is shaped up. But the more that you keep holding on to that story, you're not going to get out of it. You're going to keep going around in a circle. And this is what I was talking about with Saturn going direct. There's no time for that shit anymore. Like, just cut off all of these old stories. Slavery, our own personal slaveries, our own personal oppressions, our own personal traumas, our own personal, victim situations. Let's begin to release these and begin to open a door to new opportunities, or this is where we'll continually be stuck at. And I refuse to be stuck at anywhere other than greatness. Okay? You can make your choice. I made mine. So let's really look at these projections that we're projecting out to our children and to, the younger generation that's growing up, and even just to ourselves. Because all we're doing is just projecting our unhealed traumas and unhealed wounds of things that we personally experiences, that doesn't mean to say that's going to be the reality of those that are coming up, or those that are, you know, making a decision to really detach from those types of narratives. You'll hear things like Black people can't be successful because, you know, racial oppression, But then how many successful Black people are there? And yeah, don't get me wrong, there's some people who have had, you know, some hookups and all that kind of stuff. But essentially, let's not downplay the people that's actually really had to work hard to get to where they are. Those people that have really been self-made. There's many of them. And let's really take time to really celebrate them and stop, again, playing these narratives like broken records. It's really tiring, okay? We also need to learn how not to be so easily triggered, because it doesn't take anything for us to be triggered and be like, sexism, cultural appropriation, genderism, racism, every ism in the book. Like, we've become such a culturally sensitive culture that you can't do anything anymore. Anything you do, anything you say, it now becomes a problem. And this is what Dave Chappelle was trying to address so geniusly in his latest special that he did in Netflix. He addressed this whole fake cancel culture and this whole censorship issue. It's become a joke. And we are doing this to ourselves. So yeah, let's stop being so uptight and stop being so fake and start being a bit more human and start just loving ourselves for who we genuinely are, as opposed to who we're trying to make out that we are or who we're trying to be. Let's just be ourselves naturally. So yeah, let me know how you guys feel about this situation. And I'm not here to be debating with anyone, because literally at this point, I just think we just need to get over it. I really think we need to stop reaching. We've become professional Stretch Armstrongs, just reaching till we can't reach no more. There was nothing wrong with this photo, and there's nothing wrong with this little girl. This little girl is beautiful. And if I am going to be the only person on the internet saying that she is absolutely beautiful and there's nothing wrong with her hair, and I want her to be able to know this. I want her to be able to know, no matter what, keep being yourself. You don't need anything to alter your beauty. And only do these things if you want to. Forget what anyone else wants to say to you. You set your own standard of beauty. Forget beauty standards, because half of them don't even know what beauty is anyway. So I hope you like this video. Again, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And also, please check out some previous videos, get acquainted with my channel. If you want to get in contact with me and find out more about what I do with regards to therapy, self-healing, self-development, and astrology, then you can head over to my website, www.soul-reconnection.com. And remember to sign up to the mailing list. Oh, my eye is like, so yeah, sign up to the mailing list, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys on the other side.